Unit 4, Lesson A, Building Vocabulary. A. Meaning from context, page 64. Water. What do you know?
1. Brazil has more fresh water available for its people than any other country.
2. Farmers require 911 gallons, 3,450 liters, of water to produce 2.2 pounds, 1 kilogram, of rice.
3. Clean water is very important for staying healthy. About 1 million people die each year from drinking dirty water.
4. Melting snow and ice is a fast and easy way to provide drinking water for people in cold places.
5. China has built more than 22,000 dams to manage water for different uses, such as electricity.
6. Scientists say that 13 gallons, 50 liters, of water per day is enough for one person.
7. You can collect water in a desert with just a sheet of plastic and an empty can.
8. Water is a renewable resource, so we can use the same water again and again.
9. The Nile River in Africa, the longest river in the world, flows through 4 different countries.
10. People in Australia use the smallest amount of water of any country in the world.
Lesson A, Developing Listening Skills. Listening, a guest speaker. A. Listening for main ideas, page 66.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to be here today. I'm Dr. Paul Benjamin. I'm an engineer, and I'm here to talk to you about the Three Gorges Dam in China. As you probably already know, China's Three Gorges Dam is one of the world's largest dams. It's 1.4 miles long and 607 feet tall. That's 5 times larger than the Hoover Dam in the United States. The dam's reservoir is 410 miles long. It's huge. So as you can imagine, an engineering project of this size requires a lot of workers, and a lot of workers were involved in the building of the Three Gorges Dam. At one time, more than 26,000 Chinese workers and foreigners were working together to build the dam. Okay, so why was the Three Gorges Dam built? Why was it constructed? Well, it was constructed in order to provide a renewable source of energy for China's increasing demand for electricity. That's one reason. It was also built to help control the water in the Yangtze River. The water from this river is a valuable resource, but if it's not managed well, it can be very dangerous. Chinese authorities estimate that in the 20th century, about 300,000 people were killed in the Yangtze River floods. Protecting people's lives is a priority, and the dam was designed to protect people by controlling the river and preventing future floods. Okay, now another reason the dam was built was to help China's economy. Because the dam makes the water in the Yangtze River deeper, larger ships can travel farther up the river. This means more trade, so more money, a better economy. So we can see that building an enormous dam like this can provide important benefits. But at the same time, there are risks, potential problems. For example, the Three Gorges Dam will put a lot of land underwater. Many towns and villages will probably disappear. Over 1 million people have already lost their land and have had to leave the region to find new homes. The dam will also put many very old historical and cultural sites underwater, which is very unfortunate, because China has such an interesting history. In addition, a huge engineering project like the Three Gorges Dam can have a significant impact on the environment. For example, factories flooded by the dam's reservoir are polluting the river, making the water very dirty and unsafe. Also, the dam can cause an increase in erosion or the gradual destruction of soil and rock near the river. Earthquakes are another concern in this area. An earthquake that occurs near a dam that controls so much water could be extremely dangerous. Okay, so in conclusion, the Three Gorges Dam is one of the world's largest dams. It was built in order to provide some important benefits to the people of China. But as we can also see, there are some significant risks to building a dam this large. The main thing is to understand that there are both benefits and risks to this kind of enormous engineering project. Well, it looks like we are just about out of time. So again, thank you all very much for coming today. Now, are there any questions?
Pronunciation. Syllable stress. Page 67. Examples.
Enough. Resource. Interested.
A. Page 67.
1. Available.
2. Significant.
3. Information.
4. Understand.
5. Vocabulary.
6. Pronunciation.
7. Difficult.
8. Important.
9. Necessary.
10. Conservation.
B. Page 67.
1. The water from this river is a valuable resource.
2. But if it is not managed well, it can be very dangerous.
3. Another reason the dam was built was to help China's economy.
4. Many towns and villages will probably disappear.
Lesson B. Building vocabulary. A. Meaning from context. Page 74. Australia's water.
Water is important in any country, but in Australia, it is the most important resource. Australia is the driest continent in the world, and water is very scarce in many regions. The normal amount of rain in some places is only 1 inch, 25 millimeters per year. Several years ago, the rain stopped falling in Australia, and many parts of the country soon experienced a drought, a time of extremely dry weather. Children in some towns have never seen rain in their whole lives. It was a crisis for the entire country, and many people were very worried. The government had to decide how to allocate water for different uses. Rules were made about domestic use of water for things such as gardens, swimming pools, and showers. Some water is also needed for industry, because the country makes cars, ships, and machines. But Australians' main use of water is for agriculture. Farms produce rice, grapes, oranges, cattle, and many other foods, and these require a lot of water. Instead of rain, Australia uses water from rivers and underground reservoirs for farming. Some parts of Australia have had more normal amounts of rain recently, but in many places there, the crisis continues. And with the Earth's climate getting hotter, other countries will face urgent decisions about water use, like Australia has.
Lesson B. Developing listening skills. Listening. A group discussion. A. Listening for main ideas. Page 76.
For our presentation on how people are affected by drought, here's some information about drought in a region called the Murray-Darling Basin. That's the biggest agricultural area in Australia. The city of Adelaide is there. In some places in the region, it hasn't rained once in 7 years. Can you imagine?
Wow, that's unbelievable.
I know. The article has some really good photos. Maybe we can show them to the class. Look, here's one of a farm family. Their name is Adlington.
They sure don't look happy. What does their farm produce?
Milk. They used to have 500 cattle, and now they only have 70 because grass is so scarce.
Really? Wait a minute. In class, Professor Larson said that river is used for irrigation in Australia. What's it called? The Murray River?
Yeah, that's right. But the normal water level of the river is now extremely low. The government allocated most of the water to the city of Adelaide for domestic use and to big industrial farms. The law says that some water has to stay in the river for the fish and animals, so there's not much left for agriculture.
Well, in my opinion, water is the most important resource a place has, and cities are the top priority. I mean, that's where most people live.
And here's a picture of a lake in another part of Australia that's almost disappeared, called Lake Boga. Look at this. Now all the water in Lake Boga is used by farmers.
That's unbelievable. It's totally gone.
The article said Lake Boga used to be a vacation place. Now it's in crisis. No one stays in the hotels, and the whole town smells like dead fish.
Ugh, that's really sad. But I think growing food is the most important consideration.
Look, this photo shows an urgent meeting for rice farmers, talking about how the government reduced their water allocation. The guy in the middle, Frank Whalen, started one of the first rice farms in Australia in 1962. The article says Australia used to grow 1 million tons of rice a year, but now they only grow 21,000 tons.
You're kidding. And the world needs a lot more food.
But doesn't rice need a lot of water to grow? Maybe Australia isn't the best place for rice farms.
That just doesn't sound fair. It seems like the farmers have to give their water to industry and everyone else.
Not exactly. There are a lot of water rules and restrictions in Australian cities too. For example, the article says that water is collected in showers and used to water gardens.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Pronunciation. Suffixes and syllable stress. Page 77. Examples.
Educate, education. Allocate, allocation. Present, presentation. Conserve, conservation.
A. Page 77.
1. Industry. It's a big industrial city.
2. Agriculture. He studied at an agricultural college.
3. Government. She works for a governmental agency.
4. Describe. The description of Lake Boga was very interesting.
End of CD 1. Unit 4. Lesson A. Building vocabulary. A. Meaning from context. Page 64. Water. What do you know?
1. Brazil has more fresh water available for its people than any other country.
2. Farmers require 911 gallons, 3,450 liters, of water to produce 2.2 pounds, 1 kilogram, of rice
3.